Let's talk about research, thrillers, and why knowing everything can be the worst thing that happens to your manuscript. My wife walked past my laptop and glanced at the screen. I was deep into a scene from my novel, where my protagonist discovers a hidden chamber beneath Derinkuyu, Turkey. She said, "Why are you writing a textbook?" Ouch. And that's when it hit me. I'd fallen into a trap that's strangling thrillers everywhere. Let me explain what that means. I had spent months researching Turkish history, Byzantine building techniques, archaeological methods, all fascinating stuff. I got every fact right. But I'd forgotten something crucial. Readers don't buy thrillers for history lectures. Think about it. You've invested countless hours learning these amazing details. Surely every fact is essential to the story's authenticity, right? You want readers to appreciate all your hard work. That's the trap, the dreaded info dump. It doesn't matter if you're explaining it or dramatizing it. If you're teaching instead of thrilling, you've lost them. But here's the thing, not all research ruins thrillers, and not all historical detail is an info dump. There's another way. I turned to my AI writing coach with a simple confession. I'm trying to write a thriller that gets hearts racing, not put people to sleep with history lessons. But I can't ignore all this Byzantine research. It matters to the story. How do I make both things work? What I got back was brutal but necessary. You're spending nearly a full page detailing historical significance before your character even steps inside. Readers want to feel her pulse quicken, hear her footsteps echo. Let the history unfold through her discovery, not before it. That's when I realized something. I'd been treating his novel like an academic paper. In academic writing, you present background and evidence before reaching conclusions. That's expected. That's the structure. But in thriller writing, you do the exact opposite. You start with emotional stakes and tension. Then you pull in the history as readers become invested. They need to care before they learn. I developed a 3-step method to fix this. Step 1. The emotional entry point. Look at the difference between these two approaches. My original version. Zeynep moved forward into Derinkuyu, one of Cappadocia's most remarkable archaeological sites. The massive complex was carved from volcanic rock over 2 millennia ago. Byzantine engineers had created 8 levels with advanced ventilation systems, wine cellars, and underground chapels. Stop. Feel that? Your eyes are glazing over. That's textbook mode. Now my rewrite. Zeynep's flashlight beam cut through absolute darkness. Her pulse quickened. Allahum, how many desperate families had fled down these same stones when Arab raiders swept across Cappadocia? 8 levels. The thought made her dizzy. An entire underground city 300 feet deep. See the difference? One teaches, the other thrills. The key insight: readers appreciate historical facts when they're discovering them alongside a character who's emotionally invested in the outcome. I ethically used my AI coach to help me learn the difference and improve his writing skills. Step 2. The selective detail filter. Not every research detail belongs in your story, even if it's true, even if it's fascinating. By having my AI coach evaluate best-selling authors, I learned to use the following. The character filter test. Does this detail make your protagonist feel something new about themselves, their past, or their choices? If it's just informative background, cut it. If it challenges their core beliefs, keep it. The assumption test. Does this research force your character to confront uncomfortable truths? Keep the evidence that academic networks have been manipulated for decades. That's devastating. Cut the comprehensive Byzantine political history. It's just background. The reader impact test. Will readers feel this information or just know it? Keep the discovery that trusted sites have been conditioning visitors. That creates visceral betrayal. Cut the detailed archaeological methodology. It satisfies your expertise, but doesn't advance character stakes. I put it this way. Every historical detail should either wound, heal, or transform your protagonist. If it just educates, it's academic writing disguised as fiction. Step 3. The Tension Integration Method. In my coaching session, AI revealed that research details must increase dramatic tension, not decrease it. Look at my original approach. Zeynep consulted her notes. The electromagnetic readings match patterns at 17 Byzantine sites. Hagia Sophia exhibits frequencies at 7.8 Hz, corresponding to the Schumann resonance. Laboratory studies show this affects brain states, especially theta waves associated with meditation and heightened suggestibility. That's a lecture. In the middle of a thriller. Now, my revision. The medallion grew hot against Emre's palm as Zeynep's face went white. Emre, these readings, they match 17 other sites. What does that mean? Every major Byzantine monument in Turkey is part of this network. They're all broadcasting at frequencies that make people highly suggestible. Emre's blood went cold. What have I done? Feel that? The same information, but now it creates dread instead of drowsiness. The history doesn't stop the tension, it amplifies it. Think about what happens when you use research ethically in thrillers. It doesn't front-load context. It unfolds through discovery. It doesn't explain significance. It creates emotional stakes first, then reveals meaning. It doesn't showcase your expertise. It serves your character's journey. One drowns your pacing. The other accelerates it. One makes readers feel lectured. The other makes them desperate to understand. One produces manuscripts agents reject with interesting but slow. The other creates page-turners. Readers face the same dilemma I faced. Is this a thriller or a textbook? Some historical research deepens tension and character stakes. Others, well, let's just say the narrative momentum gets murky. Academic writers solve this with the literature review section. Thriller writers need our own process too, and that's what I teach in my course. Not whether to do research, but how to integrate it in ways that make your thriller more gripping while keeping emotional stakes at the center of everything you create. My AI coach compressed what might have been years of learning into months. Here's why. Immediate, specific feedback on problem scenes. Genre-specific guidance. Thrillers have different pacing requirements than literary fiction. Unlimited patience for iterative revision. The ability to identify single-purpose research details versus multifunctional ones that serve plot, character, and atmosphere simultaneously. But here's what matters most. The AI didn't do the writing. It asked questions that helped me see what I was doing wrong and understand what great thriller pacing actually requires. Stephen King says the source of most bad writing is fear. He's right. Historical fiction writers who research from fear of getting something wrong often drown the story with facts and details. The solution isn't avoiding research or abandoning historical accuracy. It's learning to integrate extensive research into compelling storytelling. Your research should amplify your story, not replace it. The question is, how will you source your integration? Your readers are waiting for that heart-pounding thriller, not a history lesson disguised as one. And if you want to learn my complete system, my course launches April 1st, 2026. But you can access Lesson 1 free right now. Start discovering how AI can help you turn research into page-turners, ethically sourced, of course.